That breaking news right now, a new brush fire is burning in the Hollywood Hills. This is a live look right now over this area. You can see huge flames here. This is west of the Hollywood sign, which is overlooking homes. This is now being called the Sunset Fire. The fire was just reported after 5:30 and it has burned at least 20 acres. This is not far from Hollywood Boulevard. This is a main thoroughfare and also a popular tourist area in Los Angeles. The fire chief was giving an update about the Palisades fire when they learned of this one burning.
I just want to announce very, very quickly that we have a new brush fire that has just broken out within the last 5 minutes in the Hollywood Hills near Runyon Canyon. I don't have a lot of information. I can tell you we're throwing all of our available resources at it as we speak. I am seeing active water drops as we speak. As we have more information, we'll disseminate this to all of you. But I'm going to go ahead and excuse myself.
Back out live, this fire is burning downslope towards homes. Evacuation orders have been issued. This fire breaking out right near the 101 freeway that runs through Hollywood. If you've driven through Hollywood, you know the 101 freeway. It's also burning just slightly north of Hollywood Boulevard. So you can see here a lot of flames. This is in a somewhat residential, densely populated area. You can see with that overlay of this view here, you can see all of those major streets. And if you look at the top of your screen, you can see Hollywood Boulevard right there. This is really close to the heart of the city. This is where the historic Hollywood Walk of Fame is as well. This is a historic area, as I mentioned, a popular tourist destination. A lot of people also live in this area, a number of businesses as well. This is also right near Runyon Canyon, a popular hiking spot as well. So we will continue to check in with live looks from Los Angeles as we continue to track this brand new fire. And of course, it is just a heartbreaking day for so many families in Southern California who have lost everything. We want to thank you for joining us here at 7. I'm Andrea Flores.
And I'm Edie Lambert. Tonight, the death toll has risen to 5 people. More than 1,000 structures are now destroyed. And these fires, of course, are still burning out of control. CAL FIRE sent out some videos showing what firefighters were up against overnight. The fierce wind pushing the flames and also sending embers shooting far in front of the main fires. The fire in Pacific Palisades just basically jumped from house to house. Well, crews were out there working to save homes. When the conditions are like this, there is really only so much they can do. As of right now, there is zero containment on any of those major fires. But the good news is those Santa Ana wind conditions are dying down. That has allowed the firefighting planes and helicopter to support the crews on the ground. Now, before that new fire broke out in the Hollywood Hills, fire crews were already pushed to the limits with 3 other major fires that have triggered mandatory evacuations. The Palisades fire burning through parts of Pacific Palisades, the Eaton fire is in Altadena, and the Hearst fire is burning between Santa Clarita and San Fernando. So let's give you the latest numbers on the Palisades fire. That one has burned about 16,000 acres. CAL FIRE says that crews were dealing with extreme fire behavior, including short and long range spotting. At least 300 structures were destroyed in that fire.
The Eaton fire is burning in Altadena. It has burned 10,600 acres. This fire has killed at least 5 people. Fire crews have not been able to do any damage assessments just yet, but hundreds of homes are already destroyed.
And in the San Fernando and Santa Clarita area, the Hearst fire has burned 700 acres. This fire really took off last night and destroyed homes in its path. Water and retardant drops from planes and helicopters are now helping the crews get a better handle on this fire, but the containment here is still at 0%.
KCRA 3's Melanie Wingo has made her way to Altadena tonight. This is where the Eaton fire has caused so much damage.
We're in the community of Altadena on the Eaton fire right now, and take a look behind me. You can see one of the structures on fire. Fire crews actively working to at least try to make sure that this fire doesn't spread any further. There's a building right next to it that so far doesn't appear to have much damage whatsoever, but you can see how this fire is just leaping through the rooftop of this particular duplex type structure, climbing up into the trees, and those embers have been such a problem over the last 24 hours on the fires that are burning here in Southern California. Those embers embers climbing up into the vegetation that's here, the trees that are here, and flying, picked up by the wind. The wind's much more calm this evening than they were overnight and into the early morning hours this morning. And what we're seeing right now on the ground is the juxtaposition of what is burned, what is on fire right now, what is not burned. And if you look across the street from us right here in this community of Altadena, you can see the devastation. Homes, cars, materials, belongings, all manner of things burned to the ground after fires swept through here in the early morning hours and overnight. Again, fanned by those intense, erratic winds. The fire behavior also described as erratic. Fire crews, much like this engine right here, stationed, trying to put out the flames on this structure here nearby, all peppered up and down the streets throughout this community and throughout communities in Southern California. Utter devastation, apocalyptic type conditions as they are being described by people witnessing them. Tens of thousands of people forced to evacuate from their homes, by these flames and the dangerous conditions. Even across the street from where we are right now in the distance, you can see more flames consuming more structures. Fire crews definitely have their hands full. Fire crews working nonstop 24/7 and coming in from out of state, deployed to try to get these flames under control and help protect lives and property out here. So that's the latest from the community of Altadena. Now back to you.
All right, Melanie, thank you so much. And we want to share some good news tonight. The wind has at least calmed enough for firefighting helicopters and planes to get back into the air. Of course, the air support makes a huge difference for the firefighters on the ground, though it's a welcome sight when you see that line of retardant like that. Just about every available aircraft is in use. Water dropping helicopters, those big tankers dropping retardant. They're also using some special helicopters that can suck up water from the ocean and then make those drops in residential neighborhoods.
KCRA 3's Heather Waldman is tracking the weather that is impacting the efforts to put out the fire. So we know the wind conditions are better right now, right?
The wind conditions are much better in LA County. So these are some of the gauges at some of the airports, so pretty close to sea level. But because these are blank, they're not picking up on any gusts over 20 miles per hour. There may be a bit more of a breeze as you go up into some of those hills, which of course is where several of these fires are burning. There are 5 of them in LA County that are forcing evacuations. The 5th, the Lydia fire, that's deep in the Angeles National Forest. That's in a very remote area. But the Palisades fire started yesterday morning. The Sunset fire, the most recent fire to start, that's the one we've been watching for the past hour and a half near the Hollywood Hills area. As we go through tonight, winds are going to stay relatively light, which is a good sign, but it is still that dry offshore flow. The fuels are still very dry. So the Sunset fire, again, which started this evening, even without much wind, was able to grow very quickly just because the grass and brush in those hills near Runyon Canyon was primed to burn. We're also watching the air quality. It's been miserable up near Pasadena, South Pasadena, and all the way through downtown LA and to the coast. That's mostly because of the Eaton fire, with winds dragging the smoke over the county. I'll be back with our local forecast in a few minutes.
Heather, thank you so much. Governor Newsom was in Altadena today to get a closer look at the damage caused by the Eaton fire.
And we can share his reaction to the fires that have caused so much damage.
What's the latest?
Well, 5 dead, likely more. Just complete and utter devastation. I've been in a lot of these fires, a lot, going back to Paradise, and this approximates Paradise. It's not a numeric, it's just a feeling, sense of loss, place, belonging.
Still no containment.
No, we're at zero containment. The winds have been a little bit more favorable, as you've seen in the last few hours. So we've got the helicopters back up. We've got some fixed-wing aircraft. Out on the coasts, it's a little different. It's pretty intense. We have 23 aerial assets just at the Palisades, but a lot of them are not operational because of those winds. So it's a combination of challenges. That said, we've depleted all our resources. Northern California, we'd already pre-positioned on Sunday hundreds of personnel, special units, water tenders, dozers, engines, helicopters, and it wasn't enough. And now we're getting the mutual aid system, the EMAC system. Governors from all across the country are calling. Oregon sending a few dozen engines, and in Arizona, Utah. We're just grateful for all the support.
Yeah, nice to have that backup right now. We should mention that Governor Newsom had been planning to fly to Washington, D.C. for the funeral services for former President Carter. He has now canceled that to stay in California and help out with the emergency response.
Absolutely. I mean, at this point, it really is all hands on deck across the state and accepting help from other states as well.
All the way to that level. Well, President-elect Donald Trump posted about the fires, I should say, on his Truth Social account, and he went after Governor Newsom.
He claimed Newsom rejected a, quote, water restoration declaration that could have helped prevent the fires. His post went on to say, quote, I will demand that this incompetent governor allow beautiful, clean, fresh water to flow into California. He is the blame for this, end quote. The president-elect spoke to the press about the governor while on Capitol Hill today.
What's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job. With that being said, I got along well with him. When he was governor, we worked together very well, and we would work together. I guess it looks like we're going to be the one having to rebuild it. But what happened there, I don't think there's anything that I've ever seen quite like it. And the insurance companies are going to have a big problem, because you're talking about big, big dollars.
Newsom's office has called the president-elect's declaration on social media, quote, pure fiction.
And let's show you a scene here from Altadena where the Eaton fire is burning. This is just a reminder that these fires are burning in areas that are also filled with wildlife. This little deer was seen running through a scorched neighborhood looking for a place to escape from the fire as smoke was filling that normally quiet neighborhood. We will continue to follow any new developments in those Southern California wildfires, both on air and, constantly on our KCRA 3 mobile app. Make sure to turn on the push alerts so you get the latest news.